OMG. So it's like one something in the morning. I finally got home. My flight was delayed a whole fucking hour. And then when we got off the airplane, still had to wait for our baggage. So it was 12 o'clock by the time my Uber. I had to just spend the $50 because I thought about it. Why am I going to pay $150? Decent hotel, especially around Dallas, is at least 100 before incidentals and taxes. And so I'm like, just pay half of that and take my behind home. And so I want to let y'all know something. Do you ever wonder why there's a reason I don't show my family, my husband, my children, and my entire place that I live? Because one, people are nosy as fuck. And I don't need you to be seeing what's in my house. Absolutely not. So I just show you my work office and I have a kitchen attached to it because it makes it easy for me to work from home, run businesses, and cook. And of course, I do cleaning and taking care of the children and everything. And my husband does the same, except for my husband is very rich and famous. So that's why y'all don't need to know who I'm married to. Just know that clearly I have a husband who loves me. And I have 2 daughters who are wonderful. And because of confidentiality, I've had to deal with stalking and harassment in my life. I don't want that, bringing that home to my family. Do you know how many times my husband wanted to go up to the store that I work at and fuck shit up? And I was like, no, because we have to handle this the correct way. Because that's what they expect people of color to do. And a lot of times it's people of color that do this shit. Yeah, so that's why I treat people like people, and I've learned to not let myself become provoked. Because going through hell at work, it's like, damn, nobody wants to be going through that. And me and my husband, Mikael, we sat down and we talked about some things. And I may or may not be making a career change to just go back to being a stay-at-home mom. I actually have 2 jobs now. Well, I told one of the jobs that I already accepted an offer for the daytime. And all I can do is weekends, just pick up shifts and make more money. Well, I'm kind of tired of working all the time. Do you know that on the way back, I refused to pay $25 for the Wi-Fi. I said, the hell with this. You know what? I'm going to sit back and enjoy myself and watch some TV. And I was watching one of my little favorite shows, FBI International. And I slept, and it felt damn good to I'm not checking my email. I am to be without the internet. And I'm someone that constantly uses technology to get so many things done. It's like, what do you think we did before we had worldwide access to the internet? Exactly. We had meaningful conversations. We spent time with our family, our friends. When you wanted to set something up, you did it. You called them on the phone. You invited your friends over. You had a get together, whatever the case may be. Nowadays, everybody is just stuck on their phone. That they don't know how to treat people, talk to people, survive, A couple months ago, I had lost my phone. And yeah, it took me back in time because I had to rely on my wits to get around, because if you don't have a phone, you can't call Uber, you can't get an Uber, So I had to just go get a regular cab, and I was able to just hail one down. I was like, damn, this takes me back, where you could just hail a cab down. And I'm very old school with a lot of stuff. I like to get my news and things while I'm on the go. That is true. However, nothing beats opening up that newspaper with your cup of coffee and reading over what's going on in the world. Washington Post, LA Times, Baltimore Sun, New York Times, all that. So sometimes we have to unwind. And let me tell y'all, well, give y'all 10 minutes of my time. I'm going to fuck to sleep. So let me tell y'all real quick. Well, my husband's at work and my children are asleep. This is my little time that I like to go on YouTube and hee at all the funny shit, all the weird random shit, all the public freakouts, these passport bros. Let me get y'all some passports so we can get y'all the fuck out the country, because y'all some losers. And I'll tell you why. You say that you can't find a woman in America. All right. So if you don't realize that women are women, just like men are men, you're going overseas to find a woman. So you're paying for the hotel, you're paying for the flight, and you're probably paying for the box. Yeah. And then you slowly start to see that a lot of these women are not going to put up with your Pookie and Ray Ray shit. And yeah, Pookie and Ray Ray is of every color. That's why I say people are people. Because the whole thing of you're going to date somebody based off their race, you're dumb as hell. You're dumb, because there's no scientific proof that's going to say a person based off their ethnicity, national origin, all these things is going to treat you how you claim that you want to be treated. Obviously, different cultures have different values and all that. However, you have to know that DNA proves the original people are people that look like me, people of color, lighter than me, darker than me. We come in all shades. Look it up. I'm only this light because I'm on the East Coast. I'm usually very brown, and it just is what it is. We don't get enough sunlight here. So it's like, treat people how you want to be treated. And nobody's gonna put out it. And of course, this whole modern woman, you bitches can lead too. That's why I say you bitches, because I don't call women bitches. But when you go online and you hear the level of entitlement and delusions, and I always keep saying, a lot of these so-called women, or they say that they're women, they're not real women. And you can clearly tell, because they expect everyone to cater and bow to them. I bow to nobody. And to act like you are so entitled, like this high value man and this high value woman. Excuse me. Money does not make you a high value anything. Maybe a high value prostitute. I don't know. But what I'm going to say is that when you have money and education, that does not equate with class and how to treat people and how to have good relationships with people. So when you hear somebody saying they deserve somebody that makes this astronomical amount of money that they themselves don't make. And for the record, I didn't marry my husband for money. I already come from a very wealthy family and have my own money and have my own stocks and my own investments and everything. That is one of the reasons that attracted both of us to each other. We both came to the table with what we needed to build something. And we started out, as most high school sweethearts do, as friends. I transferred here to the East Coast from California. So, y'all know. And been with the same man for a long time. We've been through our ups, we've been through our downs. But at the end of the day, we have children together, we have investments together, we have properties together, businesses together, So I have to kind of take heed to what he's saying to me. Like, you don't need to be stressed out by companies that are going to try to take advantage of your kindness and your goodwill. Takes time away from the family. And it's true. And you should have seen how I like to flex. I let the company know, the CEO, who is not worth anything, okay, that I don't have to work. My husband will do any and everything that I need, and vice versa. If my husband decided he wanted to be a stay-at-home dad and I wanted to work, I would do that. There's no such thing as a man's job or a woman's job, except for a mother and a father. Because it takes a man to be a father and it takes a woman to be a mother. You can have father-like figures, mother-like figures, whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, and since the beginning of time, that's how it's been. When you look at why things are so wrong in society overall, it is because people have turned their back on the Creator. Whatever you believe is what you believe. I'm not here to convince you otherwise. I know the truth for myself. I know the power of the Lord. And what the Lord has for me and my family, nobody can take that away. Nobody can destroy that, sabotage that. Do not think that people have not tried. Yes, they have. They did not succeed. Why? Because when you love somebody like you love the Lord, because it's in the Bible, the Torah, and the Quran, I keep telling y'all this, you respect them. You appreciate them. You value them. There's no need for me to step outside my marriage. And I make sure that my husband doesn't have any need or want to step outside the marriage. You see, because I know how to talk to him, how to treat him. And also, yes, how to stand up to my husband. Okay? Because it's a partnership. And likewise, he can tell me, if I'm overreacting. Or if I need to relax because of all the stress from work. He sees that. My children see that, and I don't need the aggravation or stress. So that is why I pick and choose who I'm giving my time and my energy to. I am so excited to start this company next week. And the way that they treat me. And guess what? They're also a couple that is a couple of color. Now, why do I not refer to myself as black? Because we're not black. We're brown. We are Native American. I don't know how many times I have to tell everyone this, but let's break down the facts. They first called us Negro. Then colored. Then Afro-American. Then African American, when the whole time we are Native American. And people of color includes Hispanic, Latin, Asian people. You can't tell? That's why people look at me. They have a hard time trying to figure out where I'm from. And my husband is also light skinned, and has light eyes and curly hair. So they try you're mixed with something, you're this, you're that. No, we're indigenous across the world. Because you need to look up the Moors of Europe. And also Queen Khalifa of California, Queen Liliuokalani of Hawaii. Yeah, the Greeks, people of color. Everywhere that you go, the people that you call black, we appear everywhere. In ancient China, in ancient Mexico, everywhere. Especially Latin America, Central America, South America. You can't tell all them Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, Haitians, everyone. And that is why I tell people, yes, the original Egyptians were what you call black. Deal with it. Look up Queen Charlotte, who was a woman of color, who ran Germany, Ireland, England, Cheerio, Scotland. You guys think that this is something new. It's not. Just look at the hieroglyphics. Look at the ancient artifacts. And you tell me who's lying, not me. That is the whitewashed imagery, foolery that they want to show you. That's not true. You don't know about the Black Wall Street? You don't know that Georgetown used to be part of Maryland? The whole DC, what exists of the District of Columbia right now, used to be Maryland. And it used to actually be called Rome. Look it up. It used to be illegal in Virginia, the Virgin Queens Commonwealth, to say that you were Indian or Native American. Look it up. So when a person of color is telling you that they're from a tribe, that they don't have ancestors that were on slave ships, they're not lying. Because if you look up history, every civilization had slavery, servitude. It's in the Bible. If you had to pay a debt, you agreed to work for somebody for a certain amount of time. Remember the story, I believe it's Rachel and Leah. Jacob worked for a certain amount of years to get Rachel, and they gave him Leah instead. He loved Rachel so much that he continued to work just to get her. So, yeah, a lot of I don't agree with women being used as property or being, used in that sense. But do you get what I'm saying? That everybody has gone through what is called slavery. It's not what they told you in school. We did not come here off slave ships. We were already here. We already had ships. The great explorers that you hear about, of course, we know Christopher Columbus was nothing but a lie. But De Soto and all these Herman Cortes, all these people, they all record seeing people of color. Yeah. So it's hilarious to me how people will assume I am everything but what I am. And I have to educate them, and I'm not afraid to do so, because you need to know about Henrietta Lacks, a woman of color whose DNA cures cancer. Cells, the HeLa cells, are immortal, lives outside of the body. You don't get more realer than that. Women, we create life. We carry life. Not a birthing person, not a cis, none of that. I am a woman, a biological woman, a mother, a wife. You can't take that away from me, no matter how people want to cater to certain individuals. And you know who I'm talking about. The LGBTQXYZ. They don't even know what they want. And most of them will tell you that they just want to be left alone. You don't need to broadcast all the time who you're sleeping with. Is that your only thing that defines you? That's nothing new, It's like, wow, what happened to decency and respect, keeping your business to yourself, and now trying to push agendas on children? Absolutely not. And trying to pretty much push women out of the way. Thing that I've been telling women of all colors for years, that I don't care what people do in their bedroom as long as it's adults of consenting age. I don't agree with all this grooming that goes on. I don't agree with men dressed up like women reading to children. For what? There's nothing proud about what he is choosing to do. If that's what he wants to do, then live your life. Why do you feel the need to be around children to try to indoctrinate them into what you believe? That's wrong. It is up to the parents to teach and raise their children as they see fit. So when you hear about all these educators and stuff like that, low-key pushing their agenda onto people. Why? Why would you do something like that? When that's not your place. And if you feel so proud about what you are and what you're doing, that's between you and the creator. Because facts don't lie. There is a creator of this universe. And I'm pretty sure that a lot of you are going to be like, it's got to be a man. How the hell you know that? How you know it's not a woman? You don't know. I guess we won't know until that day comes. So that's why you need to be mindful of who you have in your circle and who you let into your life. Because not everybody is for you. Not everybody is going to support you, support your marriage, support you having children, support you having a career. That's the reality of it. And you don't need to be taking advice from people who don't know what the hell they're talking about. Want to tell you to live this type. Look at these celebrities. They're all lying to everyone. They're not who they say they are, number one. They're all inverted. They're all transgendered because they believe that they're God, they're massa. Because they all sold their soul to the devil for fortune and fame. It's right in the Bible. What profit a man gain the whole world but sells his soul? That they want you to look at Sierra recently coming out. You don't need a man. I don't need a man. Aren't they supposed to be married to some man and have children with them and then have children with this so-called rapper called Future? Because they're nothing but fucking characters, can't you tell? That's why they all look alike. They have doppelgangers, clones, all of this stuff. And they push and promote the worst things to be and do. Look at Nicki Minaj, married to a sex offender. Because they're a sex offender. They covered for their sex offender brother. Look it up. Nicki Minaj is a man, can't you tell? Cardi B is a man. You can't tell that masculine energy. You guys would be shocked to know that the men that y'all are looking at, Denzel and all these people, Brad Pitt, George Clooney, they're not men. See, that's part of the agenda. I would know because I've been to Hollywood. I had many offers to work in the entertainment industry. Why? Because I rap, I sing, I dance, I'm very creative, I love fashion, and I have a very good personality. I know this. I know my worth. So when I was confronted or offered different contracts, I turned them all down. First of all, you think I'm going to blindly sign something? Nope. And you should always make sure you have a lawyer with you whenever you sign something. A good lawyer, not a lawyer that they provide for you, the record label. Yeah, so I know a lot about the music industry, the entertainment industry, all that, and how wicked and corrupt that it is. It's slavery. You look at the biggest thief in the entire industry, Mr. Beyonce. Yeah, Mr. Because everything about them is completely fake. Everything you see on TV is all scripted. People were talking about these holograms. Yeah, because that's pretty much all that they are. Projecting from another dimension. You want to know why I'm against human traffickers? Because it's demonic. It's demonic possession of humans. Look at the term human trafficker. And you tell me. Just like, what do they call a female impersonator? An imposter. Look at the root of the word, in person. In a person. You ever meet somebody and you can just tell by their aura they ain't who they say they are. No matter how nice they may try to be, how kind they may try to make themselves appear. Look at Ellen DeGeneres and how all those people came forward about how they're being treated. Look at majority of these people that people look at as idols. You don't remember American Idol? Yeah, idol worship. Kelly Clarkson? Yeah, and a demon. They're all demons, okay? So, a lot of times people are like, you can't say that. Why can't I? It's the truth. I'm so sick of people not being allowed to express how they feel. If you want to have your own safe space, I can have my own safe space. Because my safe space is being around people who are not delusional, who do not wake up. I identify as a bed. So you must call me a bed. And you must treat me as a bed. When you're not even a fucking futon. So stop it. And of course, they're going to get mad. I don't give a fuck. You don't think the Rainbow Mafia has tried to come for me on many occasions? And I shut them down. I don't care what you do. You talk to the Lord about what you do. I could care less. But what you're not going to do is try to intimidate me, try to make me feel less than, try to invade my personal space as a woman, try to pretend to be me as a woman. And yes, this hits very close to home because as I mentioned on my previous videos, 3 individuals, all men, trying to pose as me to lure people into human trafficking. Yeah, not gonna happen. So that's why I went back to California to set the record straight with the FBI and with the military, because these things I had told them years ago, and the government years ago, about human cloning and the different things that are going on. They can clone a sheep. You don't think they're cloning people? Just look it up. Artificial intelligence, artificial life form, synthetics, robotoids. Anybody that's been in the military, there's a lot that we know about what the government is really up to. And unfortunately, in this country, you have what's called a shadow government. And it's time for people to wake up. They say that they're woke. No, you're not, because you're still asleep. Your eyes are still blind to what's right in front of you, you know. And they have hijacked everything from every culture and turned it into something that is perverse. The rainbow is not the sign of the LGBT whatever. That's the Lord's sign, the Lord's promise to people, humanity. So when you hear about your boy Beyonce talking about demon time and how Sasha fears a demon or an entity that possesses them, when you see Katy Perry admitting out of their mouth, another man, they sold their soul to the devil. When you hear Kanye rapping, I sold my soul to the devil, it was a crappy deal, but at least it came with a few toys and a Happy Meal. Sacrifice Donda. You didn't think it's very cult-like to make this Donda Academy that's not even accredited? Are you kidding me? And then they're doing Sunday service. Yeah, I always feel like, the Lord needs to come and shut all your Sunday services down. Part of the reason why I believe in spirituality. And I respect all people that have their different beliefs, because at the end of the day, you are all worshiping the same creator. The whole story about Mary and Jesus, guess you never heard of Isis and Horus. And it goes on and on and on and on, so forth and so on. Learn true accountings of history. Maybe it's really her story. Because the way women are treated in this world speaks volumes about why these demons hate humanity. Because women carry life. A man can never get pregnant. I don't care what they tell you. They can get a wound, not a womb, but a wound created inside of them that never heals. That's not the same. They can't recreate the cervix. They cannot recreate the fallopian tubes, the ovaries. None of that. And do you know that biologically, everybody starts out as female? Look it up. The testes are just the ovaries that have dropped down. Why do you think men have nipples? So, how you treat people matters. And children are the most precious gift from the Lord. Look at how the Bible talks about children and how they are to be protected, respected, and trained in a way to become good citizens, good people. So don't rely on the public school system to teach your child how to read and write. You need to be doing that at home. So that way before they get to school, they will be ahead of the game. And teach your children not to talk to strangers, especially in these days, And it used to be back in the day, we used to see missing children on milk crates, milk cartons, and stuff. And I was always taught, you do not talk to strangers. If someone offers you a ride or candy, no. And they should not be talking to you. There's no adult that needs to be talking to somebody else's child without their permission to do so. And it used to be that teachers came to school to teach, not to sleep with the students, not to indoctrinate them on what they believe. Children do not need to know your sexual orientation whatsoever. That is inappropriate, Like, no, just stop it. It's perverse and no. So, that's why I talk about human trafficking. Because a lot of people don't know. They're allowing men these days in the jails, in a lot of places, in the women's locker rooms, at gyms, all kind of places that they don't belong in. You're not a woman. You don't belong in a woman's bathroom. Do you see me going in the men's bathroom for what? I'm not a man. I don't want to be one. I like being a woman. I like my feminine energy. That is divine feminine energy. And even if what occurred in my life dealing with transgendered men had not occurred, I still would feel the same way. Because even when I look at, you consider gay people, lesbians or homosexuals, I don't see most of them pushing what they believe onto others. Well, some might do, I'm pretty sure. But my point is, just be who you are. If you're going to be gay, then be gay and live your life. If you're going to be straight, whatever the case may be. But you're sitting up there confused as hell. And you want everybody else to be confused as hell. Absolutely not. You don't get to just pick and choose like that. Your gender is assigned at birth based off your genitalia, based off your chromosomes, based off your DNA. If you ever wanted to know if somebody is really a biological woman or man, all you need is a DNA test and an MRI scan. Yep, that's it. So that's that. I am definitely someone who just treats people as people. And no, you're not going to treat me any otherwise. Not going to happen. I recently had a job where I worked with a transgendered man, Eleanor Pratt. I'm putting their whole government out there because that's not even their name. Little do they know. I know exactly who they are. And I told them, who the hell you think you are, Beyonce or somebody? Because the way that you talk to people, especially women, is appalling. And they sat in my face, you think you're better than me. No, you think I'm better than you. But if you want to ask me the truth, I already know that I'm better than you. Because you're trying to be what I am already, naturally. Naturally, you know. You're never going to have stretch marks from carrying a child. You're never going to have a period. You are never going to have real breasts. You're never going to have real private parts. You can get all the silicone and surgeries you want. And then what makes it worse is that you have men who get sexually harassed. Yes, they do. They get sexually harassed by men in dresses who feel like you should want me. Well, if he wants you, that's his thing, then more power to y'all. Nobody cares. Nobody needs to know. And you notice they love to blackmail a lot of these men. They trick them. You know, you hear about them getting killed, right? And it's like, oh, justice for that. First of all, you need to look at the whole story as to why they possibly could have gotten killed. I'm not promoting violence towards anyone. What I am saying is simply the facts. That you're trying to trick someone. Why do you feel the need to trick someone? And you have people that come online all the time bragging about how they don't know. Like one guy, because that's what he is, a guy, was bragging about how he is transgendered. And I guess he had a surgery. And that no one in the family knew. Why can't you just be honest with who you are and be accepted for who you are? You can't even accept yourself, but you want everyone to accept you. So that's what I'm talking about when I talk about how evil and corrupt this world is. There are agendas. There are agendas on everyone. And so my thing is, if you want to be gay, live your life. But don't be used by the LGBT so-called community, because that is all that they're doing. And I know because I've done a lot of work. I actually used to volunteer with the Human Rights Campaign until I saw that the only people they felt deserved to have rights in the LGBT community were gay men, particularly gay white men. And so I just want people to know the truth about the world that we all live in. Okay? People are paid to promote things, whether they believe in it or not. And it's part of the contract that they signed. You don't own anything when you sign a contract with the entertainment industry. You don't own your image. You don't own your likeness. You don't even own your name. You're not even going to own your songs. You're not going to own your masters. You're not going to own any of these things. So that is slavery. That's why when you see the different characters, because that's what they are, characters, rebel, we don't hear from them anymore. They just, like a TV show, get killed off. They're not truly dead. It's just, it's time to play another role. Or it's time for somebody else's turn in the spotlight. You know. And the more that you see and hear a person, the more and more sacrifices they have made. So you can look up about Mr. Beyonce and how many artists they have stolen from. How many artists they have been sued by. And there's so many videos, just Google it. You can do side-by-side comparisons. The facts don't lie. Yet their followers, and notice they have followers because it's a cult, the Beehive, Hive Mind. Look it up. These so-called fans go crazy over these, even Taylor Swift, that's a man, crazy over these celebrities, these idols. You don't know You don't know nothing about them. You just know whatever the fuck they tell you. And it's all manufactured. It's all lies. You look at somebody like Rick Ross, a correctional officer, stole the real freeway Ricky Ross whole identity. Are you kidding me? And people believed it. They believe anything that they want to believe. Wake the fuck up. You know, they're not who you think they are, you know, at all. And you always hear about, look at, for example, Betty Boop. Did you know that Betty Boop is actually a woman of color? Look it up. Baby Esther. And that another entertainer happens to be white, stole their whole identity. And then another cartoonist stole their identity and created a cartoon about it. So when you hear about the old days of, you know, Motown and stuff like that, people stealing from the artists, and you see, how can they go broke? How can somebody like Josephine Baker go broke? Look at the contracts that they sign. They don't own anything. I don't care what color they are, black, white, Spanish, whatever. Okay? Well, we're not black. We're Native American. But do you get what I'm saying? You look at Cardi B, nothing but a 2-bit stripper who wants to promote gang life. Really? Please. And this is what you're letting your children listen to? Megan Thee Stallion? Stallion is castrated male. Horse. Look it up. They're bragging and mocking everyone. So that's why you need to pay attention to what they are saying and doing. And do not allow that in your house. Do not allow that in your life. Because what you listen to, those vibrations, those frequencies, they affect your brain on a conscious and subconscious level. You know. 3-6 Mafia used to be one of my favorite rap groups, right? Until I started really listening to what they were saying and doing. You don't see why so many members of the group are no longer with us? Look at Gangsta Boo. Was getting ready to make a comeback. Well, they sacrificed them. Can't tell? Please. Offset, Takeoff, Migos, all of that. That was a sacrifice. You can't tell? And then on top of that, now we getting McDonald's meals. Who the fuck cares what Cardi B and Offset, whoever the fuck they are, eat at McDonald's? Do you really even think they eat at McDonald's? Let's just be for real. And we had the Sweetie meal. I mean, come on, y'all. What the fuck? Like, really? Do not worship money. Worship the Lord. Do not worship your car. Do not worship your mortgage. Do not worship your designer clothes. Worship the Lord. Because what the Lord has for you is for you. And that is why you have all this demonic energy in the world. Because they want to separate you from the Most High. They want to tell you that the role of the mother doesn't matter. Clearly it does. Because whether you believe in the story of Jesus, and let me tell you this, Jesus is not the name of the Messiah. He's not. Jesus is another name for the so-called Greek god Zeus. Look it up. Why do you think there's so many people that name their child Jesus? Yeah. And I know that hurts a lot of people because they strong heart. And I used to believe in Jesus too. I used to go to church and all this stuff. I used to go to the Catholic Church. Prime example. So that's why I definitely know about sex offenders and how it's covered up. And how I didn't believe that the Lord wanted me to just be by myself all my life without being married or having children. I didn't feel that was natural, and I wanted to be a nun, you know. And you ever wonder why there's not a lot that's written about the Virgin Mary, Mary Magdalene? Exactly. Because they don't want you to know the role of the woman, the feminine energy that's needed to bring forth life, to bring forth a nation, civilization. You look at everything that you've been told, and you need to know it's a lie, because you need to look at the source. Where is it coming from? Is this something that a person who wants to demean you, make you feel like a second-class citizen, has told you to believe? Because it's not true. Not at all. And that's why I have to bring truth to light. Because the original people are people of color. So what color could the Creator be? And then if you want to call yourself worshiping the devil, what color do you think the devil is? Not a white man at all. The Lord is not a white man at all. And let's break down the name Lucifer. It's a woman's name, Lucy. It means light bearer, goddess of love, Venus. So, all the people that sold out to the devil, you do know that the time is coming for you to pay that debt. And probably you've been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray by an imposter. By an imposter. The rest is for you to figure out. It's not for me to always be there to hold everyone's hands. I am tired. I have served humanity for a very long time. And I'm looking forward to the day that I can retire and go home and not have to worry about what are the demons doing now to the humans. Because that's all it is. Spiritual warfare. That's why they push drugs and alcohol and jail culture and gang culture and prostitution culture. Because that's their culture. Don't make it yours. There's nothing wrong with working for yourself. And even if you have to work for someone else, utilize that time to better yourself and move up in what you want to do. There's nothing wrong with being poor. There's nothing wrong with living within your means. There's nothing wrong with education. There is nothing wrong with being a nice person, a kind person, a happy person. Nothing wrong with that at all. This is what I say about me. I am nothing that you say that I am. And I am everything that you say that I am not. That is how I'm able to overcome many, many obstacles. Many. And still I rise, and I will continue to do so. Your favorite politicians? Fake as hell too. Can't you tell? You think that you vote for a president? They are not elected. They are selected off who's going to make the most sacrifice to play the role. That is all that it is. Why do you think everything is a TV show? Everything is a TV show. It's time to turn the channel. The shit show is come to an end. So y'all might not hear from me in the next coming weeks and months because I'm going to be focused back on my family and going back to school, in working to help small businesses. The corporate world does not need me. The military, I will always be there. The government as well. Let me break it down. The government is what you call Illuminati, because the government means mind control in Latin. The Gestapo, that would be the police. And let's see, the military, that's what you call 211. Those are the actual gangs. Those are the only gangs that I've ever been affiliated with. And that's how I know about gangs. In addition to the street gangs and the cartels and the people that I would go down to the trap house in the middle of the night to get your ass out of there. Yes. Because that is how I believe I serve humanity, to help people see you are not a slave. Your life matters. You are worthwhile. You are a human being. You should be treated as such. Do not think that you are better than anyone at any time, because woe would be the day that you wake up and see the Creator's face as a person of color. And then what will you do? And you're going to run to go get your friend, your black friend who said they could protect you? Please. There's a reason that demons got kicked out of paradise. They don't want to talk about it. They act like they don't want to return. They're not wanted. They're not welcome. If you don't want to repent, that's on you. That's between you and the Lord. I could care less. I only help the demons that want to see the light and that the Lord loves them.